Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I hope you're all well and that you're off to a good start in terms of the 2025 season. My name is Paul Keeley and I'm Director of Regional Development in Fáilte, Ireland. And on behalf of all of my colleagues across the organisation, I'd like to welcome you to this Ireland's HD's stakeholder briefing, which supplements our earlier national webinar by providing greater focus on the region's challenges and opportunities and more detail on the work we'll be undertaking in collaboration with our many public and private sector partners to further develop tourism and its potential within Ireland's Ancient East. To start, I'm actually going to remind you of some of the key points made by Paul Kelly in the national webinar, and then I'll explore the market context of our plans for the Ireland's Ancient East region in 2025. Informed by our industry barometer, Paul advised that all regions, including Ireland's Ancient East, anticipate volume and revenue growth in 2025. But to realise our shared volume and revenue ambitions, Paul also referenced 4 challenges that we're going to have to overcome through our combined efforts. And they are costs and competitiveness, capacity, concentration, and climate action. With rising input costs and the upward pressure on pricing, we have to work to support you in better managing costs and competitiveness in your businesses. We'll have to continue working on addressing accommodation shortages, reduced air capacity and staffing challenges. And addressing our concentration challenges is central to the sustainable development of Irish tourism at both destination level and in your own businesses. We have to secure wider dispersal of visitors in this region, and we need to spread the business more evenly across the year. And finally, we have to reduce our carbon footprint. It's not just the right thing to do for the environment, but it also strips costs out of your business over the longer term. So over the next hour or so, you'll hear from our Ireland's Ancient East Regional Development Team and our colleagues from Product Development, Sector Development and Demand Development about the comprehensive range of supports that are available for your business this year. Much of our regional development effort is concerned with securing greater regional dispersal of visitors, and I'm pleased to be able to say that the combined efforts of Fáilte Ireland, your industry partners, and our public sector partners and community activists is seeing us create a shift in terms of how visitors are consuming the country. But there's still much to do, and there's still significant opportunity out there for us, no matter what the level of maturity in your destination. And Ireland's Ancient East has destinations of varying levels of maturity in terms of the number of visitors they attract, their mix of visitors in terms of day trips versus overnights, domestic versus international. There are key corridors between the southern part of the region and the southern part of Wild Atlantic Way that are more heavily trafficked than elsewhere in the region. And that said, to the north, we're seeing good progress in the Boyne Valley and Carlingford areas. And you'll hear later how our regional and product development teams will work with industry and other partners to make progress in terms of unlocking the full potential of Ireland's Ancient East. Paul also set out the progress being made on seasonality at a national level. We're getting there, slowly but surely, and the shoulders are getting narrower. We've seen some season extension in the more mature destinations within Ireland's Ancient East, where they can offer experiences like festivals, attractive food packages and good food offerings that are capable of competing well with other regions. And our job is to continue to use our destination development plans as a mechanism to partner with you to continue making progress on season extension across the region, helping to create higher quality businesses, jobs and destinations. And rooted in government policy and our own corporate strategy, we're intent on securing a sustainable tourism sector in Ireland. And to guide our thinking, we've consistently employed the VICE framework. We're working towards creating convergence of visitor, industry, community and environmental goals at destination level to create a common good and prosperity. So if we use the VICE framework as a guide, let's take a quick look at the market context that informs our plans for 2025, and let's start with a look at visitors to the region. Nationally, overall visitor satisfaction was at 89% in 2024, and for Ireland's Ancient East, it was a fantastic 94%, the highest of all regions. This was really encouraging that the region is made up of destinations of differing levels of maturity. No matter which location they were in within the region, visitors scored most aspects of their time in Ireland's Ancient East highly. The look and feel elements were the top driver influencing satisfaction in 2024, and this included the visual appearance and safety of our towns. So a big thank you to our partners in the various local authorities and to you in terms of how you present your businesses. However, that's not to say that there isn't room for improvement. Depending on the locality, there's work to be done on things like public transport, public realm, product development, and better access to visitor information on things to see and do. Again, Ireland St. East scored highest in terms of perceived value for money, with an overall score of 73% versus a national average of 66%. Now that said, different localities within the region scored from a low of 59 to a high of 84. So there's still scope to make further improvements in this metric. Affordability in general was highlighted, with food, drink and accommodation noted as areas of key concern. So just to reiterate, the region is perceived very well by those who have visited it, but there's scope for further improvement, with key areas of focus being the presentation and interpretation of attractions, our travel infrastructure, improved food offering, improved affordability on food and accommodation, and building out the nighttime economy offering in key hubs across the region. So let's take a look at what you, our industry partners, have been saying. In 2024, Ireland St. East as a whole saw room occupancy grow by 1% versus 2023, whilst ADR and RevPAR were also up. And this is encouraging, as hotel nights are a good proxy for how well we're doing in terms of tackling this sense of the region being a transit zone between Dublin and the West. Getting the bed night grows dwell time and grows overall spend. In 2024, almost 2/3 of businesses in Ireland St. East reported revenues ahead or at least on a par with 23. Now that said, 38% felt that their revenues were down, and this is likely to have been driven by a softness in GB and European visitor numbers, and the poor weather did little to support the outdoor activity space. In terms of the outlook for 2025, there's a sense of optimism in all regions when it comes to growing visitor numbers, and the differences between regions outside of Dublin are not statistically significant. 82% of businesses in Ireland St. East anticipate holding or growing their visitor numbers in the year ahead. And this is informed by strong inquiry levels, good repeat business, investment in your own businesses, and the combined marketing efforts of industry and tourism agencies. So in terms of opportunities and challenges being reported by businesses in the region, on the plus side, it's good levels of repeat business, investment in product, and strong marketing that lend confidence to people. On the minus side, it's costs, and their impact on trading margins. So how do the communities within which we trade view tourism, and how do they see tourism impacting them? Our tourism approval rating tracks locals' views on tourism, and the sample sizes, they're small for each locality, so feedback is best examined at a national level, and the local data should be used as an early watch-out call. Now, nationally, communities are still very positively disposed towards tourism and visitors. However, half of all counties have reported lower scores in 2024 versus 23. And it seems likely that ongoing media coverage of our housing crisis and pick-up on international protests about over-tourism are all impacting on Irish citizens. In terms of the positive and negative perceptions around the impact of tourism, in terms of positives, people call out employment and economic benefits, the ability to learn about different cultures, and giving them a greater sense and appreciation of their own built and natural environments. In terms of the negatives, the obvious: litter, congestion, parking challenges, and pushing up overall living costs. But added to this, we're seeing growing concerns about damage to the environment, pressure on public infrastructure, and personal safety. We've gotten mixed results within Ireland St. East. Monaghan, Wicklow, and Waterford have seen improved community sentiment, whilst Meath and Kilkenny has seen declines. Other counties are stable year on year. If we look at Kilkenny, there's a growing perception that tourists put too much pressure on Ireland and on their county. There's an increased proportion of surveyed residents who have experienced issues with traffic and congestion, higher day-to-day living costs, and damage to the natural environment. As I said, the sample sizes are small, so we won't be hitting any panic buttons where local sentiment has slipped, but we'll monitor this closely and we'll ensure that any concerns are captured in our destination and experience development plans across the region. And finally, let's take a quick look at our environmental considerations. We're an island and most visitors have to fly to get here. So we need to try and make the ground transport options as low carbon as possible. And of course, we have very specific targets to achieve in terms of reducing the carbon footprint at the level of individual business. We need to work with local authorities and the Department of Transport and National Transport Authority to support visitor orientation to help better manage localised access issues. And last but not least, we've just gotten a set of baseline scores as part of our destination sustainability indicators, and we're going to use these over time to ensure our development efforts are supporting the sustainable development of the sector here in Ireland's Ancient East. So, lots of food for thought in terms of challenges and opportunities. Let me hand you over now to my colleague Brian O'Flynn, our head of Ireland's Ancient East, and Brian is going to show you how our 2025 plans will start to unlock the sustainable development of tourism across the region. Over to you, Brian.
Thanks, Paul, and good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to take this time to take you through some of our development projects underway across the region. Many of you will be involved in some of these projects, while others occur behind the scenes, so to speak. Before I delve into our development plans, I would like to take a quick look at how the region is currently performing. Our latest data from CSO shows that in 2023, overseas tourists visiting Ireland's Ancient East spent €1 billion, while domestic tourists spent a similar amount at €930 million, and Northern Irish visitors spent a further €205 million. The average spend was €627 per overseas visitor. However, for domestic visitors, this figure was at €197. This difference is attributed to the length of stay, which the average overseas visitor spending more than 6 nights in the region, while the domestic averaged just over 2 nights. In total, the region welcomed 6.8 million visitors from all source markets in 2023. 2 years ago, we launched the Ireland's Ancient East Regional Tourism Development Strategy, which plots a course to 2027 for the sustainable development of tourism in the region. The core objectives of the strategy are to motivate visits and increase reasons to stay, improve visitor dispersal throughout the region, ensure we support your businesses in meeting challenges, and work collaboratively to promote the region. Of course, all of this is to be done in a sustainable manner. This is achieved by working with you at a destination level to focus on the strengths of your destination and maximize the opportunities collectively for sustainable development. We now have 10 destination and experience development plans either in play or in development across the region, engaging with over 1,200 businesses in the process. Looking first at how we motivate visitors to choose Ireland's Ancient East as a destination, Niall Tracey will take you through our marketing plans and upcoming sales and distribution opportunities for your businesses shortly. Providing experiences that are attractive to visitors, easy to book, and that deliver on their promise is a core focus of our work. If we want visitors to travel throughout the region, they need to have enough reasons to do so. We are collaborating with over 300 experience providers throughout the region to help you attract more visitors, maximize operational efficiencies, and deliver memorable experiences for visitors. 3 years ago, we identified a significant challenge as the region did not have a strong online bookable presence, and as a result was falling behind in the consideration set internationally. We have now put over 200 businesses through our Digital That Delivers program, ensuring that you are fully bookable online and have connected distribution to other platforms. 85 experiences have completed the market readiness assessment, ensuring that businesses themselves are sales ready for international B2B markets. Later on, you'll hear from Orla Carrol about some of our current investment projects which are at delivery stage. These include work on a number of Wexford attractions, the Museum of Medieval Kilkenny, Newgrange, Rock of Cashel, outdoor activity and mountain bike centres across the region, and the transformational EU Just Transition Fund, which is providing significant investment in counties Laois, Kildare and Tipperary. However, infrastructure and capital projects have a long development pipeline, and we're also working on several other significant projects which are at the concept development stage. I wanted to highlight a number of these examples today. One such project is identifying an attraction of scale for Cork City. Cork has the largest bed bank for the region with approximately 33,000 beds across the county. In fact, it makes up more than 30% of the total regional bed stock. Therefore, it is a critical destination for visitors to the region. However, it lacks an attraction of scale in the city, and visitors have often raised this as a reason why it's not in their travel plans. If Cork can appeal to more leisure visitors, it becomes a driver for the entire region. So, we are working with Cork City Council to identify what a visitor attraction of significant scale might look like in Cork and how this could be delivered with an ambition of attracting over 350,000 visitors a year. Similarly, Waterford is a city on the rise, and with the development of the North Quays, it'll soon be a city that faces the River Suir from two sides. We are working with Waterford City and County Council to identify an opportunity for an iconic visitor attractor on the back of this transformational investment. A third example is further north in the Keeley Peninsula, where we're working with multiple state agencies and Louth County Council to identify what an attraction of scale might look like in this critical location on the Dublin-Belfast corridor. These are just a few examples of big, ambitious projects strategically located to ensure we have iconic reasons to visit the region into the future. The second key objective of our regional tourism development strategy is to improve visitor dispersal. We have projects underway in each destination that aim to achieve similar goals. Dispersing visitors across the destination by improving infrastructure, enabling your businesses to coalesce around a proposition for the destination, and ultimately increasing the length of time that visitors stay. These projects generally follow a similar approach, from audit to master planning to needs identification, and ultimately application for delivery funding for critical projects that'll make the difference. I want to highlight just 3 examples today, but there are many more underway across the region, including the Barrow Tourism Plan, which is set to kick off imminently. In the Keeley Peninsula, we have developed the Keeley Orientation Plan. As you all know, this is a spectacular part of our region, but we need to improve access for visitors onto Carlingford Lough itself, into the Keeley Mountains, and between the villages on both sides of the border. Therefore, improvements to access and arrival infrastructure from Newry and Dundalk, access points onto the lough itself, trailheads into the mountains, and importantly, management of traffic congestion and visitor management in the villages themselves were identified as key projects. The orientation plan has formed the basis of an application to Shared Island for the delivery funding of some of these interventions to take shape. The reimagined Boyne Valley Drive is another example. The drive itself has been successful for many years. The project looks beyond the drive to ensure that the Boyne Valley delivers consistently across all touch points, both at the consideration stage and in market, compelling visitors to stay longer. The Boyne Valley Drive digital presence has been significantly advanced, and the project has identified the gaps in infrastructure from a visitor perspective. This includes a number of recommendations, which include making the drive 2-way rather than 1, and linking the towns and villages to the drive and emerging greenway route more effectively. It also highlighted the need for improved and consistent arrival and interpretation signage throughout the destination, both at heritage sites and key towns, as well as public realm enhancements, which are now at the detailed design stage. A third example is the Cork Harbour Tourism Plan. I spoke earlier about identifying an attraction of scale as a motivator to visit Cork, but another challenge is increasing the length of stay. Cork Harbour, with its communities and visitor attractions, is achieving good visitor numbers. Think Cove, Crosshaven, Spike Island, Middleton Distillery, Photo Wildlife Park, Titanic Experience, etc. However, from a visitor perspective, these are not seen as connected, nor are they considered on the city's doorstep. And as a result, visitors are taking day trips to these individually rather than spending an overnight in the destination. Essentially, the harbour has the potential to become the unifying proposition as a playground for visitors to the city and vice versa. The Cork Harbour Tourism Plan is looking at what infrastructure is needed to improve access onto the water itself, as well as sustainable transport around the harbour to enable this to happen. The ability to leave the city by water or sustainable transport methods and visit the harbour communities will completely reposition Cork in the mind of the visitor. As I mentioned, there are many more projects running in each destination across Ireland's ancient East, which I don't have time to go through in detail today. But these include a reimagined medieval mile in Kilkenny, Waterford Orientation Plan, Slieve Bay's Shared Island application, the Glendalough Master Plan, which Orla will talk to shortly, and further developments of greenways and trails across the region. These projects all take time and often happen in the background, but provide an important foundation to enhance the visitor experience across the region. The third objective of the Regional Tourism Development Strategy involves collaborating with you and your businesses, which is central to our role and critically important to making everything I've just spoken about a reality for visitors. Across Fáilte Ireland, we work together to deliver initiatives that enhance your business, whether through key account management or delivery of marketing campaigns and distribution platforms, which Niall will discuss shortly, strategic response programs to current challenges and training development programs, which Jenny will take you through, and national programs which were shared at the start of February. Your businesses are the routes to market for all visitors to the region. Unless your businesses can drive conversion, Ireland's Ancient East cannot benefit from the nearly €2.2 billion in annual visitor revenue I mentioned earlier. In addition to supports which focus on your business as an individual entity, ensuring that you are part of the development journey for your destination is critical for long-term success. This holds true in every successful destination globally. Working with clusters in each of your destinations, we are collectively tackling specific challenges and opportunities. Notably, as I mentioned earlier, each local development plan focuses on the strengths of the destination and identifies opportunities for success. Therefore, the focus of these clusters is around ensuring businesses are working together to leverage these strengths. We currently have 30 clusters across the region working with 375 businesses to achieve this collective ambition. For example, in Waterford, we're working with 80 businesses across 5 clusters to develop new experiences so that the coast, rivers and uplands become more accessible for the visitors. In the Boyne Valley, we are working with 65 businesses across 5 clusters to develop new experiences and bring the Boyne Valley proposition to life. In Kildare and Tipperary, we have spent the last 3 years developing new experiences focused on the thoroughbred. We are now working with 22 hotels and attractions across the destination to embed this proposition in their business, grow their domestic and international sales, and enable businesses to market to visitors by using thoroughbred as their USP. In Kilkenny, we're working with over 20 craft businesses to enhance craft-motivated tourism and to capitalise on the destination's designation as a World Craft Council craft region. In Monaghan, we are working with the industry in the south of the county to build on the investment in Kavanagh Country and with other community clusters across the county in Glasslough, Clones, Castleblaney, connected to specific development projects. In Carrol, we are working with 12 gardens to tell their sustainability and regeneration story, again focusing on their collective strength as a reason to visit Carrol. In Wexford, we are continuing to work with a cluster in New Ross and Hook Peninsula to leverage the large-scale capital investments in the Greenway and other projects which Orla will discuss shortly. And throughout 2025, we will be establishing more clusters across the county. We will continue to work with Greenway clusters from the northeast to the Royal Canal to the southeast to build visitor experiences along these emerging greenways as visitor attractions in their own right. These are just a few of the clusters that are currently working collaboratively, with more coming on stream this year. It's important to note that all of these projects and initiatives are being undertaken with a focus on sustainability and the need for Ireland and our sector to significantly and rapidly reduce carbon emissions. Therefore, we're asking all hotels and larger attractions across the region to sign up to the Climate Action Programme to avail of a free professional advisory service which will help you reduce carbon emissions, reduce costs and boosts your reputation as a sustainable tourism business. We also have an environmental monitoring programme in place which monitors visitor impacts on environmentally sensitive sites in Ireland's Ancient East. This enables us, through the local authorities and other partners, to improve visitor management at these sites and informs investment projects into the future. Finally, measuring sustainability in tourism is essential because what we don't measure, we can't manage. Last year, we initiated a Sustainable Tourism Indicator Programme and have created a baseline of data against which we will measure data annually. This will be published later this year and will inform future priorities and hold us to account on the impacts, positive and negative, that tourism is having across the region. So I hope that I've given you a flavour of our plans for the year ahead, working in partnership with you to sustainably develop tourism in Ireland's Ancient East for the benefit of all. Thank you, and I'll now hand you over to Orla Carrol, who will talk about some of the exciting current investment projects underway across the region.
Thank you, Brian. There's a lot on in Ireland's Ancient East in terms of product development. While we don't have any new products opening in 2025, work is currently underway on a variety of exciting projects, and we have a very strong development pipeline of new projects for the future. So I'm going to take you through those today. First up is the Museum of Medieval Kilkenny, with an investment of 4.6 million from Fáilte Ireland, but with a total project cost of 6.7 million. This should be complete towards the end of 2026, and we believe that this new attraction is key to Kilkenny's destination development, drawing more visitors from Kilkenny Castle into the city centre, increasing visitor spend, the number of jobs supported by tourism, and ensuring those visitors have a more memorable experience of Kilkenny. The project will incorporate the 400-year Tosal and the existing medieval mile museum in the 800-year-old St Mary's Church under a new unifying brand, creating a new attraction of scale in a prominent location in the heart of Kilkenny City. A new interpretive scheme will unify the entire complex and will use fun and humour and horrible history-style stories to appeal in particular to family groups. Moving to Wexford next, Fáilte Ireland and Wexford County Council were successfully awarded funding on the RRDF funding scheme to develop a 9.3 million project that will support the transition of the tourism offering in the South East from a predominantly domestic focus to one that appeals more to the international visitor. The first part of this project has already been completed. This was the renewal and transformation of the visitor experience within the Drumbrody Fellowship Visitor Centre. This was launched in August last year and transports the visitor back to New Ross Town as a port of emigration. The second part of the project is the development of a new world-class immersive visitor attraction telling the unique Wexford Norman story through the Norman knight William Marshall into unused iconic vacant premises on South Quay close to the Drumbrody Fellowship, and it is aimed to have this complete by 2027. Separately, Wexford County Council has already upgraded the public realm in New Ross with the development of the High Hill Norman Garden along a historical trail through New Ross Town. Fáilte Ireland, in partnership with Wexford County Council, successfully secured a Category 2 RDF to support the concept development, design and planning phases of a project that seeks to enhance the visitor experience at these two sites, a Viking village concept at the Irish National Heritage Park, and to develop a new immersive experience to increase visitation at Hook Lighthouse. Both projects are currently in design, and it is our intention to fulfil plans and design later this year. Newgrange is one of Ireland's 2 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and is an important tourist attractor for County Meath. It is accessed from the Bruna Boyna Visitor Centre, which has also received funding from Fáilte Ireland and was reopened to the public in 2019. This project focuses on the site itself. There are currently no on-site visitor facilities at Newgrange, and the plan is to develop welfare facilities at an adjacent derelict site. This is a very sensitive site, and improved paths for visitor management are also planned. Fáilte Ireland is investing 1.3 million into the project and working with OPW and the Department of Heritage, and the aim is to have it completed in 2027. Another project we are working on with OPW and the Department of Heritage is at the Rock of Cashel. Fáilte Ireland is investing €1.8 million into this €2.8 million project to implement improvements into the visitor experience of this hugely popular visitor site. Currently, the main visitor entry is through an existing medieval building called the Vicar's Choral. This has many constraints in its current layout and is congested during busy periods. The aim of the project is to improve visitor flow and visitor experience through the Vicar's Choral, including a new interactive interpretive experience. We also aim to develop exterior interpretive elements appropriate for such an archaeologically sensitive site. Already some lighting improvements to the site have been carried out. The project should be completed in 2027. We have spoken to you before about the €28 million investment in outdoor water sports facilities across the country. This is an investment of €1.2 million per site, and I'm delighted to say we will see the first 4 of these completed in 2025, and one of these is in Carrol, County Wexford. These facilities will provide those engaging in the activities with proper changing facilities and will help position Ireland as a best-in-class activity destination. In fact, 5 of these in total are located in Ireland's ancient east, and you can see from the slide we will have quite a few opening in 2026 and 27. Since the launch of the Glendalough Master Plan, we have progressed with a new governance model, ensuring all agencies, that's OPW, Department of Heritage, Wicklow County Council and Quilter, are aligned to delivering on the plan. We have started work on the route identification for a new trail to link Lara to Glendalough and the Upper Lake. Given the importance of the site from both a heritage and environmental perspective, we have started a conservation management plan for the monastic city. I've shared with you the projects that are in our pipeline currently. Capital projects take a minimum of 3 to 5 years to complete, so it's important that we have a continuous pipeline. Because of this, we are developing a new investment scheme which will be open for applications in Q4 of 2025. This new scheme will be in line with our corporate strategy and regional tourism strategies, with the objective of developing new and enhancing existing visitor experiences to further motivate visitors to holiday in Ireland and to ensure we have new and enhanced visitor experiences coming on stream to 2030 and beyond. More information on this will be shared with you later in the year as we get close to our launch date. I'd just like to cover the EU Just Transition Fund briefly. Parts of a few counties in Ireland's ancient east fall within the Just Transition territory. The EU Just Transition Fund is a fund to support communities more impacted by the move to climate neutrality. In Ireland, the region being supported is those directly affected by the move away from peat production and electricity generation from peat. €68 million was secured by Fáilte Ireland for a regenerative tourism and placemaking scheme. This funding has been allocated to focus on two areas: supporting product investment in SMEs to foster economic diversification, and supporting the regeneration and repurposing of former industrial peatlands. To deliver on these objectives, 5 schemes were developed, and you can see the 5 schemes on the slide now. On the Activator programme, many of you in the area will have already met the activators recruited for your counties, who have been on the ground in each county helping and supporting businesses with their applications and their business ideas. Across the Just Transition territory, we have 90 businesses participating in a professional learning and development programme to improve their commerciality and sustainability of their business. This private and community SME scheme opened in August 2023, and the expression of interest phase closed in June 2024. The scheme closed to applications this year on the 13th of January, and we've had 165 applications, with a huge number being submitted on the deadline date. Complete applications are being evaluated on a first-come, first-served basis and in line with the scheme guidelines. With this level of demand, we have more applications than we have funding for. We are working through the process as quickly as possible, and we'll have more announcements in the coming weeks. From early in 2024, we've had 70 businesses participating in a €5 million digital transformation programme. This is a 2-year programme which will transform the digital presence and digital capabilities of these businesses. Strategic partnerships have been put in place with the 8 local authorities in the territory and with OPW, Quilcha, Bord na Móna and Waterways Ireland. In June 2024, we announced the awarding of €25 million to 23 projects right across the territory. I won't go through all the projects, but one example is Emily Square in Athy. This project was one of the first projects awarded funding, and the investment of €2.7 million will see the redevelopment of the square to considerably improve the aesthetics of the area and create a welcoming environment for visitors. In doing so, it will create a central focal point to enhance the appeal of the adjoining new Shackleton experience. And I'm delighted to say work is going well on this project, and we expect it to be complete this year. We support over 300 festival events around the country and throughout the year. Of this, around 50 of the festivals we fund have more of a strategic focus on their ability to motivate visitors to travel, especially in the off-season. 16 of these are in Ireland's ancient east, and in 2024, they delivered an estimated 865,000 attendees. These included 3 regional St. Patrick's Festival, which delivered over 170,000 attendees across Cork City, Kilkenny and Waterford. Moving to Halloween, rooted in the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, Halloween is a worldwide event that can be traced back to its origins in Ireland. It can in fact be traced back to the Hill Award in County Meath. Ireland is the birthplace of Halloween, and we aim to take back this celebration and establish Ireland as the home of Halloween. This is a key initiative to deliver on both seasonality and regionality. Last year, we worked with Tourism Ireland and Tourism Northern Ireland on a new strategy, and in the 2025 budget, Fáilte Ireland has been given some funding towards starting this exciting journey. The Puka Festival is positioned as one of 2 flagship events within the Ireland Home of Halloween strategy. Last year, the Puka Festival delivered 49,000 visitors, which represents a 12% increase on 2023. And it had a 90% satisfaction rate. It also achieved the International Festival and Events Association's highest accolade, the prestigious Grand Pinnacle Award. Our Halloween celebrations will expand beyond Puka, and we believe that by establishing Ireland as the home of Halloween, we can attract over 495,000 visitors to the island of Ireland in the first 5 years of the project, contributing over €140 million in additional economic activity and supporting over 650 jobs across the country. We'll be shortly launching a new strategic tourism festival investment scheme for 2026 to 2028. This new scheme is aligned to our corporate strategy and objectives and sees a strong focus on regionality and seasonality. All festivals, even those we've been funding for a number of years, will be required to apply, and successful applicants will be awarded a 3-year multi-annual investment. At launch, we'll be providing webinars to explain the scheme and help with the application process. Thank you for listening, and I'm now going to hand over to Jenny de Saulles, who will share information on key sector and enterprise development supports for the year ahead.
Thank you, Orla. You'll have seen in the national session that our business supports align with our strategic priorities under 4 focus areas. We discussed climate action, people, and industry digitisation in that session. So today, I'd like to focus on commercial resilience. The reason is obvious. We know you are all feeling the effects of cost pressures around energy, payroll, and input costs. We understand how these pressures threaten the profitability and competitiveness of your business, all against a backdrop of changing customer expectations and demand for value for money. From our recent barometer survey, you highlighted clearly what your challenges are, and we have a robust programme of supports to help you in the year ahead. We know that costs are the reasons why 68% of you had to increase your prices in 2024. To support you in controlling these costs, we're continuing to provide a series of cost management clinics throughout February and at key times throughout the year. These 1-hour confidential clinics with a business expert helps you with labour and payroll, business overheads, food and beverage operations, and accommodation operations. These clinics have proven highly beneficial for those who have accessed them so far, helping to uncover cost leakage, benchmark costs, and establish key metrics for tracking and controlling expenses. You can request a clinic via the Business Supports Hub. Places are limited, so don't delay. We can also see that energy costs are your #1 reason to be concerned this year. The best way to address this is by committing to our climate action programme. What's really encouraging is that participating businesses can generally make savings of 10% on their energy bills through simple measures, often requiring little or no upfront capital investment. So being a part of the programme can not only reduce your carbon emissions in line with our national targets, but also make a real difference to your business's bottom line. We recognise there are serious challenges around food and beverage operations, with nearly half of food and beverage businesses reporting a loss in 2024 compared to just 16% across other sectors. Providing a series of supports around food and beverage is a priority for us in 2025, and we'll be rolling out these supports throughout the year, starting in Q2 in areas such as helping you to rethink your operating model to reflect evolving customer preferences and dining trends, adopting smarter purchasing practices, re-engineering menus to drive operating efficiencies and enhanced revenue performance per seat cover, reimagining space and design to boost revenue per metre, and enhancing sales and operating efficiencies by adopting innovations for better customer experience. These supports aim to stabilise your F&B operations and to return them to profitability. So if food and beverage is a challenge for your business, we recommend that you access our cost management clinic, bookable now on the Business Support Hub, as the first step. As I mentioned earlier, our industry barometer report shows that rising costs led 68% of you to increase prices in 2024. We understand this is not an easy decision, and you're walking a fine line of balancing cost coverage with competitiveness. Recent consumer insights reveal shifts in consumer motivations and perceptions of value. With shorter stays and flat revenue performance in 2024, despite increased room sales, this means you need to work harder to present a compelling value proposition in our guest experience that resonates with your customers. If you're a hotel facing this challenge, consider our value-based revenue strategies program. These in-person workshops for general managers and commercial revenue managers aim to enhance your sales and revenue performance by improving how you present and package your customer value proposition. If you missed the workshops in Galway and Dublin, don't worry, we're hosting additional workshops in Cork and Portlaoise in early March. Booking details are available now on our live learning schedule on the Business Support Hub. And additionally, our complimentary webinar on Learnify, with a focus on adapting to economic shifts and consumer trends, offers valuable insights into hotel pricing strategies for the year ahead. And for attractions, activities, and festivals, our strategic ticketing and business results program, which started in November last, focuses on a strategic, data-led approach to ticketing. This helps businesses better inform and present ticket packages to grow revenue and enhance customer choice, value, and experience. If you missed the 2024 application, we plan to reopen registration in early autumn 2025, so check out our strategic programs section on the Business Support Hub for more information. Driving revenue performance across all aspects of visitor attractions remains a challenge. And later this year, we will offer a program on enhancing retail performance for visitor attractions. This follows a successful early pilot where many businesses saw healthy growth in sales revenues, balanced demand, and bottom line profitability. Achieving operational efficiencies is a constant challenge. We address this particularly in the business clinics that form part of our Employer Excellence Programme supports, working with businesses' senior management to identify new ways to do more with limited capacity, driving greater staff engagement without causing staff stress and burnout. Our Employer Excellence Programme senior management clinics and people management resources, such as Bridging Generations Toolkit, support staff in implementing more efficient ways of working. This not only enhances productivity and performance, but it also supports career progression and retention. If you missed our recent webinar on Bridging Generations with practical contributions from experts and industry practitioners, you can watch it back now on Learnify. This webinar and supporting toolkit offers expert tips on enhancing team performance. Finally, our always-on suite of supports can help you develop marketing and sales plans, reach new customers, grow sales, and achieve more with less. So remember, the Business Support Hub on fáilteireland.ie has a dynamic live learning schedule of year-round live learning events, which we continually add to. So it's worthwhile you to regularly check it and use it to plan your capability building priorities in 2025. And in addition to this, we have expanded our always-on options for busy professionals through our Learnify self-paced learning content to suit your schedule. And now on to accommodation. We know that without accommodation, the destination cannot grow. Without sufficient bed stock, destinations can't support visitor numbers, which impacts economic potential. Fewer bed spaces result in fewer visitors, shorter stays, and reduced revenue. The Accommodation Development Team leads on the implementation of Fáilte Ireland's accommodation development strategy, utilising the accumulated experience, knowledge, research, and insights available to provide a holistic view of the state of the market so we can shape practical solutions to support the development of sustainable accommodation product. 2024 saw a strong rebound in hotel investment activity, with transactions up over 170% to €950 million versus €350 million in 2023, which is very positive. However, there continues to be clear challenges around the delivery of new capacity. Research delivered last year has given us clear insight into the future pipeline, as well as an awareness of the pain points in delivering accommodation. And this has positioned us to strategically act on these challenges to support new capacity. We are now regularly monitoring the volume of tourist bed spaces and market changes. This year, we will report and track on accommodation supply, future pipeline investment, and the transaction market, i.e. the number of properties sold in the region. Insights from this research will support the planned development of tourist accommodation policy with our department, ensuring the right balance is struck for the visitor and the community. We will deliver several product-specific webinars to promote new investment in emerging accommodation categories, such as outdoor accommodation, and in areas where new developments lack commercial viability. We are focusing on driving increased bed space capacity within existing industry. In Ireland's ancient East, we have engaged with local authorities who have identified 2 high-potential accommodation schemes. In Wicklow, we are in early stage discussions around a council-owned site that offers significant potential for tourist accommodation development. We will support Wicklow County Council with consideration towards ensuring that any future accommodation development aligns with the region's tourism strategy and meets market demand. And in Wexford, we are engaged in the Trinity Wharf Master Plan. This ambitious project aims to transform the waterfront area into a vibrant hub for tourism and commerce. By collaborating with Wexford County Council, we are assessing the feasibility of various accommodation options that complement the overall vision. We are committed to working with both county councils to ensure the commercial viability of these developments, but also ensuring that they enhance the overall visitor experience in Ireland's ancient East. Thank you for listening. I hope that's given you a taste of the business supports, initiatives and programmes available to you over the year ahead. I'll now hand you over to Niall Tracey, who will share the marketing plans for Ireland's Ancient East this year.
One of the key roles we have at Fáilte Ireland is to support you in building demand for your business. We do this through a range of activities designed to prime the market and build interest in taking breaks in the region. Now, as we look to the year ahead, we know how important domestic visitors are to this region and how many of you rely heavily on visitors from north and south of the border. So we want to continue to grow domestic visitors to Ireland's Ancient East throughout the region and also off-season. The travel trade also play a key role in bringing visitors into the region and into your businesses. So we are expanding and enhancing our supports to continually get more and more experiences in front of domestic and overseas buyers. And with Tourism Ireland and our department, we have a new business event strategy, and we are excited for what this could mean for Ireland's Ancient East. So, on the marketing side, we target domestic visitors using a high-reach, high-frequency kind of multi-channel approach. What this means is we are reaching visitors in many different ways across TV, digital, press, social media, content creators, and many more. And it's through these channels we continually remind people what Ireland and Ireland's Ancient East has to offer and encourage them to take action and to book now. Live TV remains an impactful marketing channel and allows us to effectively reach our audience at scale. Although in decline, on average, Irish people are still watching nearly an hour and a half of live TV every day. But we also support this with strong digital video on demand, like the RTÉ Player and YouTube, etc. So overall, our Keep Discovering ads will run for about half the year in ROI and NI. And here is a quick reminder of our Ireland's Ancient East Keep Discovering ad.
You might think you know Ireland's Ancient East, but maybe it's time for a closer look. An extraordinary glimpse of the oldest of stories. A taste of excitement. To walk in step with history and raise our spirits with old friends and new.
believe there's Vikings in Wexford. I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Keep discovering Ireland's ancient East.
Our RT weather sponsorship also allows us to deliver timely, relevant and compelling messages to encourage domestic audiences to keep discovering Ireland all year round. We use it to showcase regions, counties, destinations, but as well as festivals and events. Through the sponsorship, we air about 120 ads on TV every week around the RT weather broadcasts, which are then reinforced across RT.ie, RT Player and the RT Guide. We also work with leading media partners to showcase holiday in Ireland in a style and tone of voice that really resonates with their audiences. We talk about the likes of Virgin Media and their Ireland AM show, or the 6 o'clock show, but also things like Joe.ie and Her.ie, who are also great partners. Now, we will work also with content creators, strategically identify them as being a strong fit for our brands and also achieving strong reach and engagement on our core messaging. These content creators include the likes of Roz Purcell, Tyga Bryan and Aideen Fitzmaurice, who are all briefed to know our campaigns and brands inside out. Now, here's just a taste of one of the content creators from last year.
The ultimate guide to County Wexford.
Let's go.
1. Do the Cahor Point Loop Trail.
Located in North County Wexford, this 5-kilometre coastal walking trail is absolutely stunning. It'll take you along some of Wexford's most impressive beaches, including Old Bawn.
2. Take a stroll along Curracloe Beach.
Curracloe is definitely one of the most beautiful beaches in the entire country. It may look familiar to you because it's been in films such as Saving Private Ryan and Brooklyn.
We know that social media has a significant influence on people's destination choices, with 75% of Irish people using social media as a source of inspiration for travel. Now, one of the specific campaigns we have run on social channels is our Car-Free, Carefree campaign. This is a hugely successful campaign that encourages Irish people to leave their car at home and use public transport to get to and around a destination, as well as cycling, walking and even river cruising. The engagement on this campaign is off the charts. This year we'll be adding to the number of new destinations profiled. And in case you haven't seen this campaign, here's an example of one of the destinations that we've showcased.
I wanna wander out of the valley where the river takes us far away from home. Time to ponder in the fields around me, where there's nothing but the breeze and the great unknown.
Similarly, we've been building and promoting new content around walking and hiking. So many Irish people want to get out into the open air for a hike or a walk as part of a break in Ireland, and they're searching for locations and ways to do this. So our content features destinations such as Joust and the Wicklow Mountains, and will continue to be a key focus for 2025. In recent years, we've also expanded our Irish language content considerably. We now have all the regional ads off Skelga and have begun creating Irish web and social media content too. We partnered with Údarás na Gaeilge to showcase 12 Gaeltacht businesses in a special feature that got great engagement throughout the country and actually continues to do so. Now, across all this activity, our call to action is to our consumer websites. Now, this year we expect about 4.5 million visits to our sites. Now, to put that in perspective, in 2019, that was 1 million. In addition, we want to increase the number of referrals to businesses from 1 million into 1.2 million this year. Now, the referrals are counted when visitors leave our website and visit your website or your booking engine. This is a brilliant source of business for you that is completely free. Just make sure your business is listed on our site and up to date, and you can make any changes through the listing section of fáilteireland.ie. But we don't just work on domestic. We also work with overseas media with our sister agency, Tourism Ireland. The Tourism Ireland market offices identify the right media that they want to bring into Ireland, and then we work with them to design and deliver brilliant itineraries that will meet their needs and showcase the best of Ireland and the best of the regional brands. In 2025, we are looking to host more than 700 media across the country, 240 of which are likely to visit Ireland's ancient East, and they come from all the key international markets, including Britain, the USA, Germany and France. And these media represents the likes of National Geographic or NBC TV, The Telegraph and Le Figaro. It is a great partnership we have with Tourism Ireland that delivers massive positive exposure for Ireland internationally. Now, when it comes to the business-to-business side, again, we work very closely with our colleagues in Tourism Ireland. In 2025, Tourism Ireland hoped to make available over 60 overseas events for Irish industry to attend, giving you access to over 1,600 international buyers from all the key markets and beyond. Now, these events include the like of the PGA Merchandise Show, the ILTM luxury events, US sales missions, webinars in mainland Europe, and many more. Our role in Fáilte Ireland is then to work with you to help you get buyer ready so you can present yourself in the best way possible to the different types of buyers. In addition to these overseas events, Fáilte Ireland also hosts over 700 overseas buyers in Ireland on fam trips, so they can see firsthand the variety and quality of experiences we have available across the country. And of course, they get a chance to meet with you one-on-one in your business. We also host overseas buyers at events like Niall, which once again is in Killarney this year with nearly 300 buyers and over 500 Irish industry. Overall, we will help support over 40,000 one-on-one appointments between Irish industry and overseas buyers this year. As well as overseas buyers, we have a thriving domestic buyer sector who drive significant B2B business into the regions. We will build on the success of the 2024 roadshows, bringing up to 30 buyers on a tour of Ireland to meet 150 industry across the regions. These roadshows include appointments as well as fam trips, as buyers are always interested in what's new in an area. And to align the supply and demand, since January, we launched our new Saleable Experiences portal. Now, this is an online platform just for domestic buyers and Irish-based industry who have B2B experiences ready to sell. The interactive map and accompanying online directory provides practical information and downloadable assets to support the buyer in making programming decisions. Already, we have 90 buyers using the portal to research itineraries. Now, this is a brand new initiative by Fáilte Ireland and one that we are very excited by, as it makes it just easier for buyers and industry to do business together. So when you're working with our regional development team to build new saleable experiences, we now have a powerful new shop window to help you present them to Irish-based inbound agents. Now, getting involved in these B2B events, whether they are overseas events, Niall, or the domestic roadshow, isn't for every business. They do require a certain amount of commitment and expertise in order for you to take full advantage of them. But if you are interested in learning more, I suggest you talk to your regional contact who can advise you on where to start, or you can register on the trade portal. Now, there is one specific leisure area I want to talk a bit more about, and that is golf. Now, golf tourism is extremely valuable to the Irish economy, with research suggesting a golf visitor typically spends 3 times more than the average leisure tourist, with most of the spend actually not on the golf course, but in the likes of accommodation, the likes of food, beverage, and transport. 2025 will be another big year for golf, with Fáilte Ireland supporting the Irish Open, which returns to the K Club, while the Women's Irish Open is back in Carton House. But alongside these events, we also have the Irish Challenge event that's taking place in Killeen Castle and the Irish Legends event that's in Mount Juliet. But beyond the region, we also have the Open is returning to Royal Portrush. Now, last time the Open was in Northern Ireland back in 2019, golf throughout the country benefited. In addition, in September this year, the hosting of the Ryder Cup gets handed over from Bethpage in New York to Adair Manor in Limerick, in preparation of Ireland hosting the biggest golf tournament in the world in 2027. So working closely with Tourism Ireland, we are both leading out and exploiting this opportunity for golf throughout the country. And when it comes to in-Ireland sales platforms for golf this year, we are once again hosting our Ireland Golf Convention in October. This brings 60 overseas buyers, creating 1,500 appointments for Irish businesses over the 2 days. We're also bringing 40 Irish golf courses into Digital That Delivers to help them step change their use of online platforms and distribution channels to drive growth. 2024 was an important year for business events. Working with Tourism Ireland, our department, and industry representatives, we developed a new business event strategy to 2030. At the heart of this strategy are 3 things: economic, social, and environmental. Now, economic, because business event visitors are generally higher spending, they travel midweek and travel off season. So they're kind of visitors we love in Ireland. And social for two reasons. Firstly, we believe there is an opportunity to grow business events regionally, especially in Ireland's Ancient East, with your proximity to Dublin and the Dublin Convention Bureau, and also through our partnership with Cork Convention Bureau. Secondly, because of the potential wider benefits of business events. Listen, take, for example, the Autism Europe's International Congress this September that's going to be hosted in Ireland. Fáilte Ireland is working with supporting the charity As I Am, as they coordinate with the HSE, the Department of Health and other autism organisations to make sure that Ireland gets the maximum societal benefit from having hundreds of world-class experts in Ireland for 3 days. And thirdly, we have environmental. We know that business event attendees often have a sustainability expectation that is higher than the leisure visitor. This means that these events must lead in climate action and sustainability practices. Hence, Fáilte Ireland is supporting many of the business events industry to help them achieve the standards that these valuable visitors expect. Now, what does this mean for business events in 2025? Well, on the economic side, we are looking to support the creation of about €270 million worth of new leads. We want to help you win €200 million of new business. And we're going to try and add €700 million to the pipeline of long-term opportunities. For association conferences, we'll provide 12 overseas association conference sales events for industry, and we'll also run about 15 domestic events targeting conference ambassadors. Regionally, we'll work closely with the regional convention bureaus to support them in winning more businesses for the region. And environmentally, we are targeting even more business events industry to join the Fáilte Ireland Climate Action Programme. While we have lots of activity promoting destinations and experiences, what can you do to help us promote your business? Firstly, update your business and event listing and receive direct referrals to your website from discoverireland.ie. Use our brand hashtags and tag us into your social media posts to boost the reach of your message. And as a business, your social media, as well as your website, are your digital shopfronts, and it's where you can show a lot of your personality and detail of your experiences on offer. Finally, use Ireland's content pool. This is a brilliant and free resource, giving you access to 60,000 free images and videos that you can use on your websites, on your social channels, or in your brochures. We are very excited about the year ahead and to encouraging more people and more visitors to come and enjoy the amazing experiences and destinations you have created in Ireland's Ancient East. Listen, thanks so much for listening. And now I'm going to hand you back to Paul Keeley, who will share some closing remarks.
Thanks, Niall, and thanks to all the team that contributed to delivering today's event. Most important of all, thank you, our industry partners, for joining us. We've shared a lot of data with you today, so let me wrap up with a summary of our key development themes for 2025 and beyond. Listening to the various contributions from the Fáilte Ireland team today, I hope you can see that what we're driving for is an economically resilient sector with sustained revenue growth. Growth that is better dispersed regionally and seasonally. With you, we'll deliver a 45% reduction in carbon emissions. We'll be an inclusive destination that welcomes all visitors. We'll make sure that tourism offers an attractive career to as many people as possible. And we'll work with you to ensure tourism is a force for good within the communities that you trade and live in. Unlocking the full tourism potential of the region is only going to come about through the collaborative efforts of public and private sector players. So, let me finish by wishing you the very best of luck in the season ahead. We look forward to working with you in a sustainable way to showcase Ireland's Ancient East at its best and to secure extra visitors, dwell time and season extension, the things that we all want. Bye for now.